everybody, I'm glad you're here today. Today is August 22nd, 2024. In this video, I'm going to bring you a word that I actually wrote down August 29th, 2022. 2022. A couple years ago is when I wrote this down. It is not a huge earth-shattering revelation, but I will tell you this. I think it will encourage you. All right. Now, it's 104 where I'm at. I'm in the panhandle of Texas. It's stinking hot, y'all. It's hot. So my energy level is way low today. But I did want to come on here and share some fun things because I need some fun. And I bet you do too. Because the world is we're talking about nuclear war every day now. Just like, who's talking about it now? And y'all, there were Sky Master emergency action messages yesterday morning. If you do not follow Duramax World News or even Greg at NY Prepper, y'all, if you don't know what EAMs are, emergency action messages, Greg at NY Prepper's the one to explain that to you. And in fact, the video he made yesterday evening, or put out yesterday evening, actually he put in so you could hear the EAMs. And I know you may be saying, what's an EAM? It has to do with the frequency of radio activity with our nuclear capable bombers and aircraft, submarines and aircraft. We don't know what a Sky Master alert is like. The when you pull back the hammer on a projectile weapon. All right, it's not actually pulling the trigger, but except it's not a projectile weapon, it's a nuclear weapon. Okay, so there were several of those yesterday morning. That is highly unusual, although there was one in April. There was a time in April when the Iran-Israel thing was so hot. Once again, highly unusual. Had not heard a Sky Master alert in like a decade. And all of a sudden, we're hearing them more and more often from our military. Dig into that, y'all. Dig into that yourself. I'm not the educator on that. That was interesting, though. And it's interesting. I think it's kind of cool to hear them myself, but that's just me being a big fat nerd, probably. So I'm going to bring you a story, and I'm going to share with you one item that I have. I got during the pandemic, y'all. I bought this item. Okay, I'm going to share that with you in a minute. But let me tell you this story, and I honestly cannot remember if I told you this before. But you're going to have to hear it again. It's a good one. It's a good one, and we probably have enough new people here that haven't heard it yet. We live in a small rural town, an agricultural town, and this was let me see. Okay, let's think. This happened, what, 8 years ago? 8 years ago? 8 years ago. No, maybe 18 years ago. I don't remember. My daughter was 12. So she's 30 now. So y'all do the math. Anyway, no, it wouldn't be 8 years. Anyway, my daughter was 12 when this happened. After church, we had Wednesday night church then, and we don't anymore, but we had Wednesday night church as our little country church, and we had a couple that were older, and we adored them, BL and Teen. BL and Teen. They married when they were 15 years old, back in World War II. They're both passed on and gone over now, but anyway, what they used to do is invite the young kids, over to their house after church to play skip bow, card game, to play skip bow. And so if you ever played skip bow with BL and Teen, you needed to know BL cheats. I mean, he just does. They knock under the table and all that kind of stuff. But if you're an adult, you don't. But that's not what this story's about. So my daughter Taylor was 12 at the time. She went over there with BL and Teen, and she asked Mom if I could, and I said yeah. So she was over there with BL and Teen by herself. But with B, now B was another little kid that she grew up with. Country kids, y'all, country kids. All right. Now, the thing that happened was, BL was a very wealthy farmer. One of those farmers that's a millionaire but doesn't look like a millionaire. That was BL. Okay, and BL kind of just thought the world revolved around him in a kind way, although sometimes he did things that you were just like, I cannot believe you said that. That really sets me off. But, he's easy to forgive and cut slack to. So he and the kids over there playing skitball, came time to come home. Now, we just lived like 4 or 5 blocks away from them, across the highway, kind of, not just straight blocks, but you had to go through town. Now, our town is a mile by a mile, all right? So it's super small, y'all. Well, BL handed the car keys to my daughter Taylor, who was 12, who did not know how to drive, but said, Taylor, you want to drive home? Taylor's like, sure. Sure, how hard can it be, right? So Taylor got in the driver's seat, put the key in. BL's in the front seat, B's in the back seat. I guarantee you ain't nobody probably wearing their seatbelts. It's dark out. Okay, it's dark. It's probably about 9:30. Taylor backs out, puts it in reverse, and when she got into the street, she turned the wheel but did not realize she had to put it back in gear into drive. So what she did was, in reverse, gave it gas and ended up plowing into a parked car across the street. And BL looked back, and believe me, she plowed into it, looked back and said, don't worry about that. Put it in drive like this and let's get you home. So BL actually tells her to leave the scene of the accident. All right? So Mike and I are at home, and we were listening for her to come home, and sure enough, we heard them come up. But I was hearing other voices out there. I was hearing angry voices out there outside my house. And so when I went out there, I saw people I did not know. I saw BL telling them to be quiet, and he kept saying, I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it. The people were angry people. I didn't know them. I was not friends with them, but BL was. Taylor was crying. B was just sitting in the back seat. I thought, oh my, what has happened here? So Taylor came in, and she said, Mama, I had a wreck. Mama, I had a wreck. And I thought, oh my Lord, girl, what were you doing driving? And she said, Mr. BL, let me drive. And I'm wrecked into it. I thought, oh, holy crap. You want to talk about a mad mama? I was a mad mama. Taylor was extremely upset. Mike went out, my husband, take care of everything, find out what's going on. BL's like, I got this. This isn't y'all's problem. It's not Taylor's problem. It's my problem. I'm going to take... Because the people had heard the crash from their house, jumped in their cars, and followed BL over to my house, and then had the big fight over there. Well, it all got smoothed over because BL been writing a check for $5,000, writing a check for $10,000. I mean, this man could just write a check. I mean, like, it's all good, But I was so mad. And Mike told me, Gina, you gotta... And I didn't yell at BL. I was quiet. I was a quiet mad mama. All right. BL came in, was going to apologize to me. I just sat quietly, and he said, I am so glad of your Christian response to me. Most mamas would be mad, but I'm so glad you're not. And I thought, I really want to say, get out of my house. That's what I wanted to say now. But we're Southern. And we don't tell anybody to get out of our house, ever, unless it's a robber or someone going to kill us. So BL left. We finally got everybody calmed down. Taylor, to this day, will say, I've never heard Mama say so many cuss words in a row than I did that night. And she did not stop when she was just letting loose on BL. And I was like, yeah, girl, I was. So, suffice to say, that became one of our family stories. Taylor is driving now just fine. That was a one-time thing. And, really, when you live in the country, farm kids drive young. I mean, 10, 11, that's true. But we lived in town, and Taylor was not a farm kid. And, hadn't had the practice behind the wheel yet. But anyway, so that's just a little story. Feel free to share your own stories in the comment section below. Also, let's just take a moment now. If you have any prayer requests, put them in the comment section below. We will respond to you. We will pray for you. I promise. There's a lot of hurting people right now. There's a lot of darkness right now. So let's move along. That was story time. It's come and gone. Oh my goodness. That was quite a night. I'm just glad I didn't have to pay for that. Mr. BL did. Oh, Mr. BL. I mean, even to his dying day, he'd say, you know what? You just weren't mad at all. You were just such a nice mama. And I thought, no, BL, I was not a nice mama. I wanted to kill you. CILL, kill you, is what I wanted to do, but I didn't. And BL was a huge man. I mean, he was that, and I'm only 5 foot tall. I mean, I'm little. So anyway, yeah, yeah. Anyway, and every obtuse thing BL did, Teen was able to balance it out with peace and calm. She was what I want to grow up to be like to this day, and this is true. All right, now, a good thing that helped me through the pandemic, and this may help you now. Now, my children, at the time I bought this, both worked at a nursing home, and it occurred to me that music is such a wonderful therapy. We know that music does wonderful, is very therapeutic. So what I did during the pandemic, I thought, heck, I mean, I'm going to learn to play an instrument. Now, I know how to play the piano, and I know a little bit about playing the violin, but I thought, you know, I want an instrument I can put in my pocket. So when I'm in the nursing home, I'll be able to just whip it out of my pocket and start playing it. So here's what I bought for myself during the pandemic. And you should buy one. These are not hard to learn to play. Harmonica. A harmonica, y'all. It comes in this, it's a Hohner Special 20. I mean, I got it on Amazon, all right? And it's good. So it's great. I won't play any more for you. That's it. But anyway, y'all, this was so fun to play. When of course, I went outside. Oh, some kind of bug is getting on me. I don't even know what that is. Oh, my word. Oh, it's a little piece of wax this was on the kitchen counter. I guess it's wax from my fire starters yesterday. Anyway, y'all, you go outside to play this. Don't learn it inside the house and bother your family, all right? So I would play this outside. I would lay in the hammock during the pandemic. Even beyond that, I get my harmonica and just play hymns and play songs. And if you have an ear for music, they're gonna pick this up really fast. All right. And do I technically do it right? Oh, I'm sure I don't. Do I have a heck of a time playing it? Yeah, I do. I have a good time playing this. I learned some Christmas songs, and we had a Christmas show. 2020, let me see, maybe it was probably 2021. Yeah, 2020, we were all sick. But 2021, we said we're going to have a Christmas show, a family Christmas show, which is not unusual for us. That's kind of what we grew up doing. And so everybody who wanted to, could bring a talent, okay? A talent. And so that's what we did. And guess what my talent was? It was the harmonica. So y'all, if you need some music in your life and you need an instrument that doesn't take up a lot of room and it's very easily to maintain, and when you get in the nursing home, you can just carry it around in your pocket and then whip it out and start playing it. And I don't care. By the time I'm in the nursing home, I don't care who I bother. I'm gonna be paying so much money to stay in that place. I can do anything I want. That's kind of how I feel. But anyway, get your harmonica. Have some fun with that, y'all. And that's just music therapy. What instruments do you play? I would love to find out. And some of y'all we visit back and forth have for a few years now. What instrument do you play? What do you like? Even the spoons, the wooden spoons, or the juice harp, or I know a woman who was like 90 who still was playing the accordion. I was like, dang, woman. She can really. If you've ever seen anybody play a big accordion in real life, it's like, wow, that takes a lot of arm strength. Anyway, she played it at a baby shower, which is a whole nother story, y'all. Whole nother story. Okay, because everybody needs a little accordion music at a baby shower, right? All right, here we go. Let me go ahead and read this to you, and hopefully this will encourage you. Now, I'll give you a little background. When I was writing in 2022, that's when my husband was recovering from a horrible car wreck. That it wasn't his fault, but it was horrible, and he was very, very injured. He's fine now. He's fine now. Of course, you still have residue from stuff like that. That'll be with you forever. But so you'll. So I was on the struggle bus, and I know some of you are on the struggle bus. And the thing is, God knows you're there. You're not alone. I know it may feel like you're alone, but you're not, okay? So, you may even be crying as I read this. It's okay. It's okay. The Lord knows. And again, he knows so well because he lived it too. Our Lord walked in flesh. He was God in flesh. So here we go. August 29th, 2022. Sweet child, I hear you, and I send down upon you whispers of mercy, that you may believe in me more. It's never a matter of measuring. That is for man. It is always a constant flow, a constant, complete washing of my spirit in you. You need never measure me. Success in me is not ever about numbers, but always about souls of the faithful. Compare not yourself, child, to anyone, but always be open to the power of love. I pour into you and wash over you. Be joyful. I am near you. So I tend to, this is my Western mentality, culture, excel at school, be an A+ student, which I never was. But I mean, and my parents were cool. They were like, hey, just get a good grade, pass it, doesn't matter. 100 years from now, I guarantee you it won't matter. Now, my experience were like very much salutatory and valedictorian kind of pressure. But my parents are like, hey, go have a good time, make some good memories, but stay out of trouble and just make a passing grade. So that's true. But still, in our faith, sometimes we like to measure things that God does for us. And that's what I was doing struggling with at this time. Like, how much good do I have to do before you love me more? How much do I have to do before I can believe in you more? Do I need to do more good works? Do you know what I'm saying? And the Lord's like, I don't measure that way. I don't. A lot of people will say, the church has to really get itself put together before God will like her. And I don't believe that. I don't believe Scripture says that. There's nothing we can do to get God to like us. He loves us as we are in the midst of our sin. Not that he wants us to stay there always. He wants us to repent and keep moving, believing more. See, that's what he wanted me to do, believe more, but not get caught up in seeing how much extra credit I could get or how good I can be. Does that sound familiar to y'all? You see, because I like the extra credit. I like to make a good score on the test. And the Lord's like, look, you don't even know how I measure because you're not me. My spirit is in you. And so he went on to say, I was like, is this, because I can kind of, obsess over it early. And he's like, I asked him, I said, am I making this an idol, pursuing this idea of measuring? And granted, I was not at my best because of my husband's thing. And he says, yes. And do you not think I was tempted myself to bow down to that idol when I saw the thousands listening to my Father's words? Like the feeding of the 4,000 and the feeding of the 5,000? Remember that? But no, for I was assured by my Father, there will be few, not many, who want what you give. So there's not going to be a lot of people following what I do on YouTube. There's not going to be probably a lot of people at my church. And the Lord's like, I don't count the numbers. I just love the souls. It's about faith. It's about faith and belief. And concentrate on that, child. And don't get distracted. And so our own effort. Something that really was hammered into me in my church traditional experience was earning goodness, earning grace by my goodness. And yeah, no, you can't do that. Grace is freely given at the time I believe and commit my life to God and repent of my sins. So, anything that smacks of a work mentality, earning God's love, earning God's grace, cleaning up my life, cleaning up my church, being good enough for God to say, okay, I'll let you be mine, that's not biblical. And some of y'all may not like me saying that, but that's just the truth. Jesus died while we were still sinners. And he stayed on the cross for me. He knew my name at that time he was hanging there. So, going on, I'm going to go ahead and read August 30th, 2022. Consider the lilies of the field, child. They toil not, neither do they spin. Seek me, child, and all will be provided for you as beautifully as I provide for my birds and flowers, even more so, for I am in you. Fret not about your husband's job or his health. I see all. I am carefully constructing your paths. Let me, by simply seeking me, as you so willingly do. So, let him make your path for you. Just seek him. Just come to him. And then he'll do all the rest. Yeah, because we were really worried about a lot of things back then. The job and all of that. Y'all know you've been through it too. I know you have. So, consider the lilies. I have a hummingbird feeder outside my kitchen sink window. And the hummingbirds, I have a couple of extra up here. You know, 2 is 1, 1 is none kind of prepper motto we all have. So, these hummingbirds, they are so fascinating to me because I've gotten to know them and they've gotten to know me. I put out that stuff for them. They're in their little feeder, the liquid stuff, and they come and drink all summer. All right. And when it gets to where I've run out and I didn't even know it, they'll hover in front of my window and look at me like, hey, get us some. And I need to look at those little bitty hummingbirds and say, the Lord takes care of them. Even through me, he takes care of them. And the Lord will take care of us through all of this chaos going on. Have a good time today in some way, shape, or form. Pray for being refreshed and revived. That's my prayer for myself today. Stay safe, America. This is Gina Lima Charlie. I'm out.